All right, back with some more consoles. I couldn't get them all, so I grabbed the games instead. But let's keep this going. Real 3DO. Really hard to get the dust out of these grooves. I grabbed this years back for, I want to say in the 20s, like 28 bucks, and it came with a lot of games. And at the time, that was kind of expensive for the 3DO. I mean, now it's a really, really good deal. But I got a bunch of sports games I've still never played, like ESPN tennis, golf, scuba diving, and Muhammad Ali's boxing. But one thing I did get that I really wanted to play was it Successor War of the Shadows or Shadow War of the Successors? It was a digitized fighter. But much like with the Jaguar, that was a massive mistake. That game is even worse than Kasumi Ninja on several levels. I used to have a video of it up. I'm not sure if it's still up there. One of the fighters is wearing like a leisure suit, and they have a katana and shoulder-length hair. Kind of looks like John Romero. The moves do not work. The hit detection is all over the place. It is just a bad game. If I can find my footage of it, I'll put it up. But it's been years, so I probably don't even have it anymore. But yeah, that was not a good way to start the system. I also got in Killing Time, Brain Dead 13, Blade Force, and I think it's called Starfighter. A few of those, Starfighter and Blade Force, were actually pretty good. I really should have started with those, but I like fighting games so much. And as with Kasumi Ninja, I'd seen screenshots of it and thought, oh, how bad can it be? I really hadn't played a game that bad. There is just zero quality control where that comes in. Shocking. But yeah, that was my start with the 3DO. Next up, this is my repaired Turbo Duo. Back in about 2009, my friend called me up. If you've seen a recent video of me talking about my four anticipated consoles, he was the friend that came over Christmas morning and we played Tekken and Ridge Racer, eating candy and stuff. Called me up from a Goodwill and said, they have a Turbo Duo here. And I thought, you have to be mistaken. He said, no, I'm looking at it. It's in the VHS tapes. It's right here. He didn't have the money for it. It was only 25 bucks, but he said, I only came with $5. I'm not getting paid for a few weeks. If you want it, you should come get it. Sped over there, and sure enough, someone left a Turbo Duo. I didn't have anything with it. They didn't have any games there. So I grabbed the 3-in-1 pack of Bonk's Adventure, Bonk's 2, Gates of Thunder, and there's a hidden Bomberman 94 on it. Oh, that was an incredible bundle. I don't think there's ever been a single disc bundle that good. It was just, all the games are fun, varied experiences. And of course, as it happens, I played it for about a week, went to go turn this on one day, and it wouldn't power up. The capacitors went bad. I've since had it fixed, but I got a Duo R while I was waiting for this to be fixed because it took a few months, and so this just sits in a loving spot because it's just so delicate. The internals just aren't as well designed as a Duo R, and I don't want to take a chance of it going bust again. But yeah, this was just a great buy, and that triple pack was phenomenal. It goes for a mint now, but it's still worth it. At the time, I found my PayPal receipt of like $8 for it, and now it goes for about $70. Still great. Gates of Thunder is fantastic. Next up is the Neo Geo Pocket Color. I think my first Samurai Showdown 2 is in there now. I've tried to record footage of this before, but it's just too reflective. The first game I played on this was either Sonic or Marvel, Capcom versus SNK Match of the Millennium. Both are great. I can't remember which one I popped in first. I bought this with 6 games from a friend for about 70 bucks. I was going on a road trip and he didn't want it. Sonic is a really good, at the time, a good conversion on this. I think it's all right now, but of course with better handheld versions and better handhelds, you'll play better ports of Sonic. But compared to the only other ones I had tried at the time, which were the Game Gear ones, this was head and shoulders above them. And if it was Match of the Millennium, that's one of my all-time favorite handheld games. Two-button fighter, but with the micro joystick, controlled beautifully. Mini games. There's for Samurai Showdown characters, you can cut dummies. For Metal Slug, you shoot targets. For Ghosts and Goblins, you avoid demons. So it's this robust fighter, controls great, really good move list, and fun mini games. It just has everything. So yeah, this is great start, great handheld. All right, moving along. I'm assuming add-ons count. So Doom was the first 32X game I played. After I had this for a while before I got the 32X. It took me a while to find one in good shape. I like this version of Doom. It's not the best home port. I would still say that is the Jaguar. I know the PlayStation one runs smoother and has music, but to me the Jaguar one controls well, looks really good, and I don't mind the lack of music. It makes it eerier. I guess that's because I have versions with music that I don't mind the lack of it, and if that was the only port, I'd be a little annoyed, but I don't know, for when I compare it to which versions match the PC version, that one to me is the closest. The PlayStation one adds levels from other versions of Doom in it. And it uses effects that aren't really found in the original PC release. So if you, for one-to-one, until the Xbox Live Arcade releases, I always found the Jaguar to be closest. But this is really fun to play. I like it far better than the 3DO and Saturn versions. And I like it better than the Super Nintendo version. Not as good as the Jaguar, but for a 32X, that is not bad. And I guess not bad is a great way to describe the 32X. Like the Virtua Fighter on it is good, not bad. In some ways better than the Saturn version. Space Harrier is good on it. A lot of duds for the system, but if you get the handful of solid releases, I said not bad. But yeah, I was happy with Doom. For the Super Nintendo, I played it when a friend brought it over. And I'm pretty sure he had Mario Kart and Mario World with him. Or is it Mario Land? Whichever the first Mario is for the Super Nintendo. I think he put in this first, Super Mario Kart. I'm pretty sure he put it because he was obsessed with this game. And soon I became, equally obsessed. He was so good at it. I might have told this story before. He would follow me around battle mode. And he would just ask me if I was ready to die. And I'd be so irritated. I'd say, fine, just do it. And then sure enough, he'd kill me. It drove me nuts. He's actually like that with every game. I don't know how he does it. But he adapts very quickly to any genre. And then will just bug the hell out of you if you play against him. But yeah, this and Mario were... I came from the Genesis. And when I got the Genesis, it had been out for a while. And I was clinging to my NES kind of thinking, this will do. This will do well. And I was just starting to understand how many systems there were out there and that you won't get a version of every game. And if you get the game, it won't be the same version. Like if there's a movie license, I'd say, well, the Genesis has, say Aladdin, right? And the Super Nintendo does. Well, what's the problem with that? Of course, this was before then, but it's probably a good example. The best example I can come up with is that, no, there is a big difference. And sometimes you're not going to get, I knew Mario wouldn't go on the Genesis, but then I saw more and more games, staying with the Super Nintendo and more stuff coming out for the Super Nintendo. And at that point, it had the Genesis for a while, and the Super Nintendo was just looking better and better. And within the nail in the coffin, he brought over Zelda and Final Fantasy III, and mentally I collapsed. Outwardly I'm like, oh, these are pretty nice, but inside I'm just going, I need to get this system. I eventually sold most of my Game Boy games and probably half of my NES games at a pawn shop to buy the Super Nintendo. And the one I got came with Mario Kart. It was a Mario Kart bundle. I eventually bought this box later. But I'm pretty sure Mario Kart was the first game I played. I think he showed me Mario first, but I played Mario Kart first. And if it's the opposite, it doesn't really matter because both those games I still play today. This is still my favorite Mario Kart. Just in terms of combination of characters, tracks, and control. And Mario, of course, I can play that any day of the week. I probably own it 4 different ways on different consoles. But yeah, seeing this running when all I had was a Genesis and there was really no racer anywhere near this caliber on the Genesis, and it was as fun as it was. I couldn't believe just how sheer fun it was. Uh, it was tough in that period when he would bring this over with his system, and I just, if he spent the night and forgot his system, I'm like, we have got to go get your Super Nintendo. Next for Nintendo is Super Mario 64. My friend was really excited for the Nintendo 64. He got his at Montgomery Ward's. This was one of the first times I remember pre-orders for a system being a big thing. Well, he was able to walk in and get one of the 3 they had. He had just got his license, so he called me up, and I'll always remember it because he got to drive his dad's Z71, which at the time was like brand new leather interior. And he lived on the other side of town than me. He picked me up really early on a Saturday. Our parents didn't want us staying out late because he had just got his license and, wasn't that experienced with night driving. And it was a bright, sunny day. He rolled the windows down. He floored it on the interstate. And I remember just thinking, like, yeah, we're growing up. It's so silly now because we really, we weren't working then, weren't paying taxes. But, he got to drive the car. And I'm going to his house for the day. It's on our timetable. Of course, we had to be back by when my parents said, didn't matter. We're adults, damn it. So we get there. And this is the only game he had. And the launch lineup was, I think, just this and Pilot Wings. But pop this in, and he started doing that thing where you can mess with Mario's face. Oh, that was it. I thought, this is going to be, Nintendo's back at it. This is going to be amazing. Super Nintendo to this. They've done it again. Now, I played it that weekend. Cut to when I get one like 6-7 months later. I've been keeping up somewhat with the releases, but I was really big in the PlayStation and Saturn, so, what little money I could muster from holidays and stuff was spent on that. So I get a Nintendo 64. I finally going, okay, I'm going to go buy my first game. What are we going to get? Go to the store, and really this was still, to say it was the best game isn't really fair, because for a lot of people this still is the best game, and it is, it ranks as a classic. But contemporarily, when you're sitting there, and I've already played this quite a bit that weekend and, off and on since with them. I'm wanting something new. Like, what else have they put out? What have other people put out? And there was really, nothing. It felt like, you would see these rows of PlayStation games, rows of Saturn games, and like 10 Nintendo 64 games. And of those, it was like, well, I guess I'm going with Mario 64. And, when you've already played a game a lot, to then buy it and play it a lot, I was just pretty much tired of it. I wanted something new, and that's a really good, as before, summary of my life with the N64, which is, had a lot of promise. I was really excited at first. When that really good game comes out, I get excited again, but then it kind of dwindles down as the releases dwindle, and then as it's been with pretty much every Nintendo console, Nintendo puts something out, you're back into it, and you think they're going to rebound from here on. They've seen the sales, they know what they have to do, and then shoop, and then the next one comes out, you're excited, and then down again. But as a first game, I think this was their first one. And I pity the person who played Pilot Wings before this, because you're thinking, what the hell is this? Like, it's okay, but now you had to play this first, and just looked so good. The Liquid Mario, I remember seeing it in screenshots, and when I saw it in person, I was just like, this is it. Nintendo's perfected it. They're done.